Have you ever heard of the Bridge of Fog? It's an old, decrepit structure, abandoned for decades, wrapped in a thick, wet mist all year round. The locals, they don't go near it. They tell stories, whispers of a bridge that doesn't just connect two sides of a river. They say if you dare to cross it at the stroke of midnight, you'll hear screams. Screams that seem to bubble up from the very air around you. And the most chilling part, they swear no one who crosses that bridge ever comes back quite the same, if they come back at all. This legend is exactly what caught the attention of a group of young, ambitious filmmakers. They were all about exploring local mysteries, debunking myths for their online channel. But for one of them, Alex, this was personal. My grandfather, he told them, his voice tight. He vanished near that bridge 30 years ago. They found his car, but him, never. I'm not just making a documentary. I'm going to find out what really happened to him. His determination was infectious. They packed their gear, their skepticism, and a hidden layer of fear, and set off to challenge a legend that had stood for generations. The drive itself felt like a descent into another world. At first, it was just small things. The GPS on their phones started glitching, spinning wildly before shutting down completely. No signal, one of them muttered, but it felt like more than that. The road, a winding path through dense woods, began to feel eerily familiar. Didn't we just pass that weird-looking tree? The scenery seemed to loop, a monotonous, disorienting cycle of asphalt and shadows. Then the fog rolled in, not gradually, but like a sudden silent wave. It swallowed their car whole. The world outside their windows became a blur of grey. The air inside grew heavy, cold, and the soft whistle of the wind began to morph into something else. A low, mournful cry that seemed to come from miles away, yet right beside their ears. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, they saw it. The Bridge of Fog. It loomed out of the mist, a skeletal silhouette against the grey void. The fog wasn't just around it. It clung to the rotting wood, swirling and pulsing as if the bridge itself were breathing. It was an ancient, monstrous thing. The wooden planks groaned under a weight that wasn't there, and the dark river below was a silent black chasm with no visible bottom. Perched on a high rail, a single large crow watched them, its head cocked, its eyes like polished jet. The silence was absolute, yet it felt expectant. As they stepped out of the car, a collective shiver ran through them. They all felt it. Something was here, something ancient and hungry, and it was waiting for them. They set up their cameras, their hands trembling slightly in the biting cold. "Okay, let's do this," Alex said, trying to sound brave as he took the first step onto the creaking wood. And that's when it started. Whispers, not the wind. These were distinct, intimate sounds that slithered through the fog. They weren't just random noises, they were voices, and they were calling their names. "Mia," a voice whispered, and Mia froze, her face pale. That sounded like my grandmother," she stammered, her eyes wide with terror. Her grandmother had passed away 3 years ago. Then another voice, deeper, called out for another member of the group, Sam. It was the voice of his best friend, lost in an accident just last year. The voices were perfect replicas, filled with love and warmth, a siren's call from beyond the grave, luring them deeper into the fog-choked maw of the bridge. Just as they were trying to process the impossible whispers, a scream tore through the air. It was sharp, terrified, and it came from directly beneath them, from the dark water below. Before they could react, another scream followed, closer this time, as if whatever was making the noise was climbing up the bridge's supports. They looked at each other, wild-eyed, but no one had moved. Yet their audio recorder, sitting on a tripod, was picking up clear, distinct footsteps on the wooden planks right next to them. The fog, which had been a thick blanket, now became an impenetrable wall, closing in on them. They turned to look back the way they came, but the riverbank had vanished. They looked forward, but the end of the bridge was gone too. The structure seemed to stretch on forever in both directions, an endless, rotting walkway suspended in a grey, screaming nothingness. Panic erupted. "Where's Jake?" Mia screamed, her voice cracking. They spun around, flashlights cutting uselessly through the oppressive mist. He was just here. A second ago, he was standing right there. Now, there was just an empty space where he'd been. No sound, no struggle, just gone. "Jake, Jake!" they yelled, their calls swallowed by the fog. "We have to go back, now!" Sam shouted, grabbing the camera. They ran, their feet pounding on the groaning planks, desperation fueling their flight. But after a minute of frantic sprinting, they stumbled to a halt, panting, right back where they started, at the entrance of the bridge. It was impossible. They had run away from it, yet here they were again. The bridge wasn't letting them leave. It was a loop, a trap, and they were caught inside. Suddenly, a figure began to resolve in the fog ahead of them. It was a man, old and frail, his clothes tattered and dated. As he drifted closer, Alex let out a choked gasp. "Grandpa?" It was him, the man from the photograph, the grandfather who had disappeared 30 years ago, but his eyes were hollow, empty sockets in a face as pale as bone. He opened his mouth, and a dry, rasping whisper escaped, a voice like dead leaves skittering across pavement. "The bridge doesn't lead anywhere," the apparition murmured, a faint, sad smile on its lips. "It leads you." And as he spoke those final, chilling words, the solid wood beneath their feet began to tremble violently, then splinter and crumble into the black abyss below. One by one, their screams were devoured by the fog as the bridge gave way. The last thing the camera recorded was the view of the churning black river as it fell. It hit the ground with a thud, the lens pointed up at the swirling grey sky. For a few moments, there was only the sound of heavy, panicked breathing from whoever was holding it last. Then, a final, horrifying whisper, so close it felt like it was spoken directly into the microphone. "Now, you are also part of the bridge." The breathing stopped, and then there was only silence, punctuated by the endless soft hiss of the fog. Days later, the state police found the abandoned car, parked just before the bridge's entrance. There was no sign of a struggle, no footprints leading away, and no bodies. All they found was the camera, lying in the mud, its battery nearly dead. They played back the footage, the shaky video, the panicked voices, the screams. It all ended with the fall. But the audio continued to record. It was mostly the sound of the fog, a constant low static. But if you turn the volume all the way up and listen closely, you can hear something new in the background, faint but unmistakable, a new scream, joining the chorus of the lost. The legend of the Bridge of Fog continues, and they say that if you've listened to this story all the way to the end, you might just hear a whisper reaching out from the other side of your screen. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to follow our channel for more mysteries from the shadows. Stay safe out there.